Man, just when I thought riding season was here, it dumped like 12 inches of snow last night. It's okay because I like to ski, so. But man, I'm getting amped to ride my bike. And March, man, just coming in. March Madness. More than one way. All right. Freezing outside, so crack a beer. Or a Michelob Ultra. All right, let's get into this. Yo, yeah, I still got the cryptos on. I got the crypto rear on the front right now. The crypto soft front enduro, good, but just not quite ready to crown it Max's killer. It's just not there. I think I actually like this tread design a little better. So I'm going to give this crypto rear trail up front a try. See what happens. Xylitol in the rear, that's best rear tire ever made. They can just figure out how to get the front tire to have more traction and stay lightweight with a softer rubber. Gonna be primo, but not there yet. But I am still running them. I did get 2 or 3 rides on that. So, tires are my favorite thing, if you haven't figured that out yet. Brakes are my least favorite, but like my favorite at the same time. I hate riding a bike with crappy brakes. Because when it comes to brakes make you faster. And it's like, well, wait a minute. How does slowing down make you faster? Being able to control your bike at high speeds and make it do what you want it to do will make you so much faster. And that's why brakes are so important. But they're so finicky, and that's why I don't like them. Side note, I just slapped on the Galfer Shark rotor up front, the 203. I'm going to get into why I did that here shortly. Excited to try that out. So I am running the Magura MT7 with the HC3 lever. I have tried every brake. I have tried Shimano SLX, XT, XTR, SRAM, Guide, Code, G2, not the new ones that just came out. Finally, they went to mineral oil. That's a win for SRAM. I'm a fan of mineral oil brakes. I've tried the Formula Curas 2s and 4s and X's. I've tried TRP slates, and I've tried TRP DHR Evos, and the Maguras. Oh, and I've got a little parking lot test on the Hayes Dominion A4s, I believe they're called. Those are good brakes. But I don't know. This is the longest I've ever kept a brake on my bike. And the reason is I haven't had to do anything to them. And that's amazing, because the reason why I was a big Shimano guy for a while, went to SRAM, and I really like the modulation. I like that. It's almost like a feeling of traction control, especially where it's loose and dry. You really are able to kind of finesse that line of braking traction but slowing you down. And that's why I really like the Maguras. They have tons of power, as much or more, probably more than a SRAM Code in my opinion. I have no functional way of measuring that, but their perceived power is more, but also their modulation is better too. Where I really liked, probably my second favorite brake was the TRP DHR Evos, but I could not run a 200 rotor on the front of those things. Like, it was great if the dirt was good. They have plenty of control. The second the dirt got dry, that front end would just lock up. And the second I barely would touch it in a corner, the front end would lock up and slide. These don't do that with the 200 on there. Like, that initial throw there has just more control than those TRPs, in my opinion. I can run these with 180 rotors front and rear and totally be fine. It's when you start running heavier wheels and tires that you might want to jump up to that 200 rotor. These brakes are hands down my favorite brake I've ever had. But they do have some drawbacks, and some of it's not the brake's fault, and some of it is. But those drawbacks, every brake has a drawback, and it's just what are you willing to live with? For me, what I want in a brake: consistency, power, modulation, and ease of maintenance too. And these check all the boxes. Period. I have almost 2,000 miles on these brakes since I've mounted them up. I have not touched them. And when I put this rotor on the other day, I cracked the top of this reservoir and flicked out some fluid just to see, so I could separate those pistons and kind of push some of that fluid, or if there's any air in there, back up, so I could get this new rotor on, and then we could close it up and see how it is. But I wanted to see what the fluid looks like, because every Shimano brake, SRAM brake, every brake I've tried at even 800 miles, the fluid's black, like pure black. And there was literally zero air in this. I mean, these feel exactly the same as when I installed them. And what I mean by that is the throw from the initial pull to where the wall is. There's like a wall on every brake, and that's where it hits the rotor. So that has not changed. These brake pads literally have like almost zero wear on them, which is insanely mind-blowing. I did chairlifts all last summer. Tamarack, Bogus. I did Bellingham, which is really hard on brakes, and I literally doesn't even look like these pads have been worn in at all, and I have almost 2,000 miles on them, which is that right there is mind-blowing to me. Unreal. Usually by now I would have had to have changed pads on any other brake. But yeah, the fluid was blue. Let me show you. It's literally this color. Exact same. This would have been freaking black on a Shimano brake. That'd have been black at like 500 miles. No air bubbles. I literally didn't have to do anything. All I did was just separate the pistons and boom, good to go. God, they feel so good. Getting into some of the things that might be a drawback of like things I didn't really like. I did have one issue. I'm going to start with this. With the master cylinder, I'll probably get in here with the camera, but you've got to make sure you tighten that top bolt first, and then all the way down, and then tighten the bottom bolt. I did strip out the threads in there, and this body is like a composite, plastic, carbon composite, whatever the heck it is. I'm sure they did it for weight. I would have preferred this to be some type of metal and not have to worry about that. And I'll take the extra whatever freaking grams. I don't care. These brakes are insanely lightweight. But I don't really care what my brake weighs. I care about, does it stop me? So personally, I don't necessarily care for this. But once I have everything set, you really never have to touch them again. I was messing around with a new dropper lever, and I stripped out the threads, and the threads came out, and it was pretty much unusable, and I had to buy a whole new system right here. It's like $150, $200. So I was not stoked on that. I was ready to throw these things out, but they feel so good. So good other than that. And yeah, I'm loving these things, man. So so that was one thing I don't like about them, is what they're made of right there. Another issue, kind of the only other issue that I've had, is that you get a lot of brake rub, and I don't necessarily think that's the brake's fault. I have had a run of freaking rotors. I've tried SRAMs. These are the HS2s. I've tried SRAMs, Maguras. They're all 2.0s, and they all have a wobble in them. I don't understand. They all wobble. So this Galfer has been the straightest rotor I've had ever. So it's not one little ting right there. Yeah. Fingers crossed that this is going to be the winning combo. But that's why I went to this Galfer rotor, is because I've just like tried so many different rotors, and they all have this wobble, and I'll straighten them out and it'll fix it for a little bit, and then it goes back to ting. It'll get that ting, 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 ting as you're riding. Super annoying. So, and I think that's maybe why this throw is so tight. Like, I like my brakes to be real tight and snappy. Like, I like a quick pull. I don't like when the lever pulls all the way to the freaking bar. Drives me absolutely insane. That's why I don't like codes. I can never, whatever it is, for whatever reason, I can never get a good bleed on those things. And I'll do a weekend at Tamarack, and the lever's pulling to the bar. And you're constant. Everyone loves the little, the dial on there, the bite point adjust dial, and I'm constantly, when I was on codes, I'm constantly adjusting that, and then boom, I'm out of adjustment, and then you got to do a rebleed. I mean, I would bleed codes every month. It's been a year. I've bled these once, and they feel literally exact same as the day I got them. Unreal. There's one other little thing. These HC3s, they have a little Allen head right here so you can adjust the lever, the whole lever in and out, just like every other brake. But you can also adjust. It's a two-piece lever, and so you can adjust the whole lever, and then you can also just adjust the tip too. So you can really fine-tune these and get them to feel exactly where you want your finger to be, which is pretty sick. But there's a screw that goes in right here, and that screw would constantly kind of come undone on me. So the end of the lever would start moving on me, and I didn't like that. So what I did is I backed it all the way out, just threw some Loctite on it, tightened it, and put it to where I wanted it. Haven't had an issue since. So that was the one little thing. Maybe keep an eye on that if you do get these. Other than that, don't really have too much else to say. Endless power, tons of modulation, lightweight, durable. I hear a lot of people complain about how messy these are to bleed, and how difficult they are to bleed. Literally the easiest brake I've ever bled, ever. And I bought bleed kits from every company. Shimano's, every brake has their thing. Shimano has the wandering bite point, which is super annoying. I love the feel of Shimano's, but that is just kind of a deal breaker for me. The codes, they use dot fluid. I can never get all the bubbles out of dot fluid. They always end up feeling spongy to me. Some people might have different experiences. I've felt some codes that felt really good, but they also have like they require more force to move that lever. And sometimes I can get some arm pump issues with those. These have a really light feel, almost as light as a Shimano, not quite as light as the Hayes. The Hayes have a really light throw, like almost too light. These just feel perfect. This is the perfect brake in my opinion. And I really feel like you can control your speed so much better with these brakes compared to other brakes. That's why I haven't changed them. I've got, almost 2,000 miles on them. Usually I'm constantly swapping out parts, I'll swap out brakes. But once I get a brake that works and it feels how I want it to feel, I usually don't touch it. So I don't know, maybe I got a really good set. I had another set on my Yeti Arc, and they were the trails with the carbon levers. They felt exactly the same as these, and never had an issue with those. I put 700-800 miles on those too, never had an issue. So I've had 2 sets of these Maguras, and I'm sold, 100% sold. I don't think I'll go to any other brake. So there it is. Thought I'd come at you guys today with a little bit of brake talk, because brakes are finicky. Brakes can be a pain in the butt. And, man, once you get one that works, it's freaking night and day. So, yeah, I'm super stoked on these things. And, yeah, that's pretty much all I got. I'll let you guys know what I think of that rotor. Those Galfers. Galfer makes the best rotors on the planet. I've got them on my gravel bike. I have them on my Yamaha R7 that I got to get them installed. But I got, oh, they're right here. Yeah, look at this baby. Yep, that'll stop you. Put these things on the score, dude. Be sick. But yeah, Galfer makes the best components for brakes. Anyways, there you have it. Long-term review, not review. I hate doing reviews. Long-term thoughts and impressions. I'm not telling anyone what to run. I'm just telling you my experience. If you guys have a different experience, totally awesome. I don't blame you, man. You have a bad experience with a part, it'll put a bad taste in your mouth, and you probably never want to run them again. No matter who says, you need to run them. So that's just my experience. Other people might vary. Everyone's got their favorites of what they need and what they want. But for me, Magura, they're a win. That's all I got for you. Tribal Gear, San Diego. Talk to you guys later. Peace.